Hey everyone, happy weekend. Welcome back to another episode of Literally What. I just want to first off say thank you so much for all of your guys' support and just love from last week with the new studio, with all of the new changes and updates of the podcast. It just meant the world, and I'm so glad that you guys are loving the pink because that would have been a problem if you weren't digging the pink. But yeah, just thank you everyone so much. I'm so excited to be back for another week of just podcasting and chatting with you guys. This, for some reason, was the longest week ever. I don't know what it was, but like the daytime was going by so astronomically slow. I would look at the clock thinking it would be like 2 p.m. and it was like 11. And then I would look at the clock thinking it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4. And it just like time wasn't moving. And then it would get to the nighttime and then the nighttime was going super fast. So I need it to just like switch. I need the daytime to go by faster and then the nighttime to kind of slow down a little bit. But we made it to the weekend, which of course it goes by like way too fast. That's just how life is. You know what I mean? But anyways, welcome back. We're going to get into some pop culture, some true crime, just some internet chaos, just all of that fun stuff that has you and me both saying literally what, because a lot of that happened this week. But as always, make sure that you are following the podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. If you are listening to this, wherever you are listening, go ahead and give it 5 stars and a review if you are loving it. And then if you're watching on YouTube, I do upload my YouTube videos every single week to the YouTube. Definitely go subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Everything is podcast, literally what. So if you want to shoot me an email, follow the Instagram, anything like that. Also, I have like my link tree and everything in my description box and in my Instagram bio. So that will give you all the links you could possibly find for the podcast. So, okay, I think that's everything. And now let's go ahead and just go get into it. I don't know why I said go get into it. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyways, let's get into our literally what moment of the week. If you weren't here last week, this is basically the story that I saw on my phone throughout the week that had me saying literally what, and it was just like the craziest headline. Specifically this one because we don't hear about things like this that often. And this also happened close to where I live because the sugar factory in Atlanta mistakenly gave 3 little kids an alcoholic beverage. You heard that correctly. So if you've ever been to Sugar Factory, if you live in Georgia, I don't know if they have any other locations. They probably do. But if you've seen pictures, seen the Instagram or anything about it on social media, you would know it's like this big, it's called Sugar Factory. It is these ginormous, like giant drinks. They have dry ice pouring out of them, tons of candy, cotton candy, sugar, like total sensory overload, total like kid's dream, and also like a total adult's dream, because who wouldn't want to go to a Sugar Factory and get like a big alcoholic drink with candy in it? Hello, headache. But anyway, it's very kid friendly. It's not just for adults. It's not just for 21 and over. Anyone can go. A lot of families go. A lot of kids have their birthday parties there. It's just like a very family friendly place, I guess you could say. So basically at the Atlanta Sugar Factory, they gave these 3 girls a big drink. It kind of looked like a fishbowl or like a goblet of whatever. It was very big, and all 3 of them were sharing it. It had candy in it, and they didn't realize it was an alcoholic drink until they had taken a good bit from the cup, and it was by mistake, but it was full on a lot of alcohol in that cup, as you can imagine. And the parents obviously ordered the non-alcoholic version, obviously, because these are children. And so a lot of people online in the comments, being haters as they always are, were saying, why would you not try your kid's drink first? Blah, 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 like blaming the parents. Okay, first of all, I'm pretty 100% positive that if I ordered my kids a non-alcoholic drink, I'm not going to be assuming there's alcohol in it. Like that just is not the first thing to pop in my head. I don't know if that's in a lot of people's heads to like try a non-alcoholic drink, especially if it's ordered for a child. It wasn't like this was ordered for someone who's like an adult and like they don't want an alcoholic drink. But for children, I didn't think they automatically assumed there was going to be alcohol in it. And so yeah, not on them. But the girls started drinking it because it was like a big, fun, loving drink with candy in it. Like, this is pretty obvious. And so ended up figuring out what happened. The restaurant told them. I don't know if the restaurant told them. I think that's what it said in the article. Or if like the parents could sense something was off with the children. And then it ended up with the kids being in an ambulance just to be checked on and making sure that they were okay. And thank goodness that they're fine. But like, that is not a small mistake at all. That could have been and was really, really, really bad. And it's a situation where I feel like people love to blame the parents, but that is 100% on management, on the restaurant, and holding them accountable because they're the ones making the drinks, mixing the drinks. And they need to like really make sure that doesn't happen again, because that, I can't imagine how awful that was. So yeah, Sugar Factory, definitely do better, because that is a definite literally what moment on your part. And I'm just glad the kids are okay. But I don't know like what I would do if I was a parent and then my little kids were drinking this huge drink and then there was a ton of alcohol. Like, I would definitely be freaking out, because that's so crazy. But anyway, that is our literally what moment of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed that story, because I'm sure the parents did not love the situation. We're going to hop into our viral vortex, which is basically any stories or story that's going viral that's ever has everyone talking, really. And I picked this out even though we did talk about her just last week, but Katy Perry, my girl, she just kicked off her Lifetime tour, and clips of her show are going insanely viral. I cannot escape scrolling more than 3 times without a Katy Perry video. But basically, she's flying around. She's in all these crazy outfits. It's a really big and huge production, and you would think she's going on this big Lifetimes tour. She's singing songs from all of her albums, and just from seeing her at previous tours and when she did the Super Bowl, like, she is a very, very, very great performer, and I think she focuses a lot more on like the entertainment, the lights, the props, the choreography, more so like entertaining the audience and not so much on like the vocals. Obviously she sings amazing and has great songs, but it's a very big production if you've seen any of her shows before. But I will say it's not giving what I think people thought it would. It's from the clips I've seen and from the clips that are going viral online, the choreography looks like, at least from what I've seen, because again, I'm not there in person, but at least from what I've seen, the choreography is kind of giving like me and my sister when we were performing for our family at Thanksgiving, if you know what I mean. It's, I don't know. It's very strange. And some of the like production acting elements, when she's singing the E.T. song, she's fighting what looks like, what was it called? It's like, did I write it down? Oh yeah, a heating tube. Like, it looked like the tin silver heating tube that she was kind of fighting, and it was supposed to be like, I don't know what it was supposed to be, like a monster or something. And she's flying for a lot of it. Now, from what I've seen, I would have assumed she was flying throughout like the whole show, because I've seen so many clips of her flying, but apparently she's only flying for 2 songs. So what I think is happening is the more like production heavy, but also like kind of low budget looking clips of her are going around, and maybe the rest of the show is amazing. She also is doing a segment where she gives the audience a choice from an album where she sings a song that is more like heartfelt and like more like meaningful, sad, slow. So people have been pointing out that she has taken a lot of elements from other tours that have recently been going on and put them into her own, aka Taylor Swift and the Eras tour. She obviously did surprise songs, which I feel like a lot of artists did surprise songs after Taylor did it. Sabrina Carpenter did it. And now Katy Perry is kind of pulling from that. And she also, of course, has been flying around, and, Pink does that on her tours as well. She was floating on a butterfly, which people were saying like Olivia Rodrigo did on the moon. And here, like, when you're touring like that, there is so much you can do, and it's hard to not copy other people because you want to give a good show. And I feel like it would be hard to see like a super successful show or tour and not try to pull from that to make sure it's something that your audience wants to see. But I don't know. It's just like, it feels a little bit off. It's kind of like what you would expect from her and the budget that is put into the show, and watching the videos that she was giving out and then the videos of her actually on tour, she just doesn't look, I don't know. You guys will have to make your own opinion, look at the videos yourself. But, you know, I obviously, if I had tickets to go, I would love to go because Katy Perry, you know, is my childhood and she has some of the best songs ever. I think it would be an amazing show to go to. Now, aside from all that, she is dressing up in amazing costumes and is flying around the stage, and she still is getting hate. So that's just the world we live in. But it is definitely a little bit of a switch up from what we've seen from the past of her. But yeah, she still looks amazing, still looks like a fun time. And that was just, I think, like her first opening show. So we'll see how it goes from there. But that was our little viral moment of the week. So now let's hop into our stop scrolling. These are moments that, as I was scrolling my phone, had me stop and look at the headline. And we have a few stories here today. Very Dancing with the Stars heavy. And I'm so excited. You guys know Dancing with the Stars is my absolute favorite show. It is so good. And I'm always ready to find out who the celebrities are going to be for this season. But before that, one of the biggest stories is that Alan and Emma, two Dancing with the Stars pros, they fueled romance rumors with an on-stage kiss. So for those who do watch Dancing with the Stars, Alan and Emma have had this little like flirtatious, you know, posting each other. Are they dating? Are they not dating? Are they just hanging out? We didn't really know. They never confirmed anything. And so during their final dance duet on the final night of the Dancing with the Stars live tour, the two kissed on the lips. So during the live tour, they both have a dance together that's towards the end, and everyone is always looking forward to that, to see them dance together. They don't kiss normally, but for their last performance together, they did kiss on the lips, and it shocked everyone because that is definitely a big hint or a big here you go to the fans. And the crowd cheered very loudly, and this was in Chicago. And so they definitely post a lot on TikTok together, on Snapchat together. But ever since that, they haven't commented on the kiss. They haven't said anything about it or anything about the nature of their relationship. But Alan did have a photo of him and Emma on his little like roundup of pictures for the final tour post on his Instagram account, which I feel like for a guy that's as big a move as we could get. So very exciting for them, and we'll see how that plays into the next season. But that leads us to our next story, which is that the first cast member has been announced for Dancing with the Stars season 34. This is the greatest time of year. I am so excited to see who all we have coming out on the dance floor. And it's also exciting because we now know that it will be returning to ABC and Disney Plus for its 34th season. Obviously, I don't really think anyone expected it to get canceled, but it was announced that Alfonso and Julianne are going to be returning as co-hosts, and Carrie Ann, Bruno, and Derek are all back at the judges' table. So same as last year. And now we know that Robert Irwin will join as the first celebrity cast member. And I am so excited. If you haven't been watching Dancing with the Stars for a long time, his sister Bindi was on Dancing with the Stars as well. Don't hold me to it. I think she was with Mark Ballas or Derek. Hold on. Who was it? Mark or Derek? Dancing with the Stars. Derek. Okay. So they did dance together. She did win her season. So it'll be interesting to see her brother being there, and also his sister's past dance partner, Derek, being on the judging panel. That will be interesting to see. But I'm so excited. I think he's been talked about for the past couple seasons. People have wanted him to be on the show, and everyone does want him to be paired with Riley. I think they would make an adorable couple. The only thing I will say is I really want like Britt and Emma to have a really good partner. And I feel like a lot of the times they get the older competitors. And the reason that they kind of give for that is that they're the most patient pro dancers. And so it's easier for them to work with people who maybe aren't as good and naturally talented at dancing as other pros. And also Emma does a lot of Dancing with the Stars tour prep. But I just think it would be fun for one of them. I love Emma and I love Britt, and I think they deserve a really good partner. And we'll see if they give them a good partner this year. please. But anyway, very exciting. And now this just means that we will continue to be getting announcements of the celebrities for this new season. And I absolutely cannot wait to see. All right, so our next story is about Maroon 5, and they were teasing a new collab with a mysterious female artist. Now, up until last night, I didn't know who it was, and we now know who it was. But they are dropping a new single on the... Well, I think it already dropped because it's the 26th now. But they were giving a teaser. It was a silhouette of a woman who was standing back to back with Adam Levine. No one knew who it was, but people had obviously a lot of assumptions. Some people thought Miley Cyrus. Some people thought Lisa, aka Mook from White Lotus. Some other people thought it was Demi Lovato, so giving very Disney Channel vibes. And it ended up being Lisa. They are doing a collab song together. And I'm honestly excited. I always forget about Maroon 5, but Maroon 5 just brings me back to like 2014, 2015. Like the good music, that good pop music, Misery, Animals, Payphone. Like they just had such good songs, and I'm so excited. Because they just always have bangers, and I always forget about them. And then a Maroon 5 song comes on, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Adding to my liked, this is the best. So anyway, excited for that. And I'm so happy for Lisa because obviously she had her part on White Lotus and then she was performing at Coachella. And I just feel like now she's becoming so much more well known. And I am so excited to hear the song. So anyway, all right, our last little stop scrolling is, oh my gosh, one of my favorite stories I've heard in a long, long, long time. And it is that Benny Blanco took his fiance, Selena Gomez, to a prom themed party after he learned that she had never been to her own high school dance. I love anything like this. Whenever I'm watching a TV show or something and someone hadn't been to like a prom or a homecoming and then their partner like takes them or just like makes it, you know, for them in a way, it just like it shows like how sweet that person is and how empathetic and how caring and thoughtful. I just love stuff like this. Anyway, so they both dressed up. He rented a limo. She wore a really gorgeous like purple short in the front, longer in the back dress with some black tights, some black heels. And then they drove to the mall to take pictures together and posted them. And oh my gosh. And I just like, when we first heard of Selena and Benny dating, I think everyone was so confused. But I think the more we see of them together, it just makes so much more sense. And I think that now Benny Blanco has set the bar so astronomically high. He is just such an amazing partner and fiance to Selena. And I think that she is so deserving of him. And I think that they both just fit together so well. And just stories like this. I mean, he literally did it for his birthday as well and was thinking of Selena and doing something that's thoughtful for her. So I'm just so happy for her. And I 100% take back if I said anything bad about Benny and Selena. Like, I know now that he is such a great man. She knew what she was doing picking him. And they just looked so cute together. Like, it was also so special because they could have just rented some like super private studio to take pictures, but I think they also are just such a down-to-earth couple going to a mall to get pictures. He did like a Taco Bell like picnic with her. They're just so like human while at the same time being like the top of like celebrity A-list. So I just love them. The story I thought was so special and so sweet. And I'm just happy for her. So happy for her. Okay, next, you guys. We are doing the obsessed or over it segment. I have been waiting all week to get here to talk to you guys because I have two over it's that I have to rant to you guys about because I feel so strongly. And I've just been waiting to talk to you guys about this. So we'll do the first one. And then the second one is the one that I have the most beef with, I think. Actually, I don't know. They're both like equally annoying. So let's get into my over it's. My first one, sounds in rap music for no reason. And I will give you two specific examples of what happened this past week. I was driving with my husband and his music is always just like the most random rap songs. And we were driving and all of a sudden this like whistling noise comes and is super, super loud. And it sounds kind of like either my car's about to explode or something's wrong with my car or a tire blew. And I was like, what the heck is happening? And he was like, oh, it's just the song. okay, why does this weird loud whistling need to be louder than the actual song and music? Tell me why. So then he goes to a different song, and we're driving down the road, and all of a sudden I hear police sirens. So I'm thinking we're either getting pulled over or there's an ambulance or something. And he goes, no, it's just in the song. So by that point I had it, and I just don't understand why we need these loud noises in music when we're driving in a car, because I don't want to be driving in my car and then be concerned that either my car is going to explode or I'm getting pulled over. I need to relax, not have my heart rate go to like 120. So that was like, I'm so over it. And now we just play my music in the car because I can't deal with that anymore. And the second over it I have is something that I feel very strongly about, because this can be changed and it must be changed. So I went to the grocery store. I got just like the small, like double basket shopping cart. And as I'm walking into the store, all of a sudden my shin hits the metal bar of the shopping cart. And it wasn't even like I had to go out of my way to do that. I barely like moved my foot to walk forward to push the cart, and it just nails and rams into the metal bar, hits my shin. I immediately am holding onto my shin in the middle of the grocery store, like entryway, trying not to cry. I don't think I've ever been that hurt before in my life. It hurt so bad. I was just sitting there, like literally trying not to cry. It was so bad. So then I continue walking, and I hit it again a couple more times, not as hard because I'm aware, but I could barely move my feet, okay? Or it would have just like hit that little bar. And so my question to the world is, how are we in 2025 and we are still using these metal shopping carts that are hurting people? And also I feel like when I'm like grabbing onto a metal shopping cart, I just like feel dirty. I don't know why. And so I don't know why we're still using metal shopping carts, because they're kind of dangerous, and I had never been in that much pain in my life, and now I'm scared. So the last time I went to the grocery store, I didn't even get a shopping cart. So I think we need to either wrap these shopping carts in like metal or not metal, oh my gosh, like rubber, okay, so that I don't ram my shin into it anymore, or there has to be some other solution to this. But continuing using these metal shopping carts is not the solution, and I need someone to figure out a solution, because I'm actually traumatized now and can't use metal shopping carts anymore. So yeah, those are my over it's, and I feel very strongly about those this week. I don't know if I'll have another week where it's this solid, because yeah. But let's get into my obsessed of the week, because I also feel very strongly about this, and I have been obsessed with pranking people. So if you guys are on TikTok, you might have seen this new prank going around. Whenever there's a really funny prank that starts going viral on TikTok, it just like makes my whole day, and I start watching every single possible video I can. And so this week what's going viral is this trend and prank where you say, oh, I'm so hungry, I could eat, and then you say a person's name. And typically what people are doing is they'll say to like their mom or dad a name of like their high school boyfriend or like childhood best friend. Some people are doing it to their boss, and so they'll just find someone random in their Facebook friends list. And so they'll say like, oh, I'm so hungry, I could eat Michelle, whatever last name. And then they get like so concerned and freaked out. Like, what are you saying? Oh my gosh. Some of them are so funny. And I really haven't seen one that's not funny, because especially if it's someone who doesn't know the trend and what's going on, it is hilarious. I did it to my husband because he's not like on TikTok or anything. So I always prank him so easily, and it was so funny. I want to do it to like my parents, but it's hard because it's like I have to now find a name that's good enough to where it'll confuse them. But it's also hard to find people from like their childhood, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been so pranky this week. And then I pranked my husband again last night. He's just so easy to prank. And especially he's not like is it critically online? What is that phrase? He's not online all the time, so he doesn't really know the trends, and he's just really easy to prank. So I've just been so pranky. Oh my gosh, I also pranked my mom and sister. So I don't know what's gotten into me. But I basically like kept sending voice memos, and I wouldn't finish the thought. So I was like, do I need to bring, and I would never finish the thought, and I would keep saying it like that. And they were getting so annoyed with me, and they both like called me, and I was like, what's going on? And yeah, that was just funny. But I've just been so pranky recently. And now if anyone's listening to this now, I can't even prank them because they're going to know. I will still prank because it's actually been really fun. All right, let's get into our screen time. These are just any stories that have to do with movies, TV shows, reality TV. Doesn't have to be a recap, just has to be some kind of headline that has to do with looking at a screen, specifically TV shows and movies. So the first one is kind of crazy because Academy voters are now going to have to watch all movies. You heard me correctly. Let me break this down. So starting with the 2026 Oscars, Academy voters, who are the ones who vote on who is going to win the Oscar, are now officially required to watch all nominated films in a category before they cast their final votes. A rule that marks a big shift for the Oscars. So basically what I'm telling you guys is that they weren't already watching the movies, okay? The people who were voting for who to win the Oscars for were not watching the movies. I don't understand how this was not already a rule. I don't understand, I don't understand this at all. This is crazy to me. But it also kind of makes sense as to why certain movies get an award and others don't, and it doesn't add up. Well, now it's adding up because they're not even watching all the movies, okay? So now I'm just confused because, who's going to hold them accountable to actually watch the movies? Because if they're kind of, getting away with just voting for whatever they feel in their heart, and now they have to spend hours watching all these nominated films, I don't see them doing that. I don't see them changing the way they've been doing it for years. So yeah, this is so crazy. It said that over the years, this raised concerns about the integrity and fairness of the voting process. Yeah, duh. I don't understand how this was not a rule. So anyway, to give fair shots to all the nominees, now they have to watch all of the films, which is so crazy to me, you guys. I was in shock when I read this. So maybe the Oscars next year will make more sense, but who knows if they'll even watch the films. Okay, next story is some exciting Bachelor in Paradise news because Hannah Brown is joining Bachelor in Paradise, and she will be spending the summer in Costa Rica with Wells, the bartender. So we now know that it's going to be filmed in Costa Rica, and Hannah Brown will be there. She's going to be hosting the all-new Champagne Lounge. We don't know what that is yet, but I'm sure it's going to be exciting. And so I think that we all kind of know that Bachelor in Paradise needs a big revamp, especially now that it's Golden's and the other people. I don't know how that's going to work. But I think that she's going to be a really amazing addition. She is one of the most I'm sure famous Bachelor people. She's an icon. She's the best. And I think she's going to be really entertaining. I think she has the perfect personality for it. And I think she's going to really add something to the beach. And I cannot wait to watch. I can honestly see her giving Ariana Madix vibes from Love Island hosting that. And I think that she'll do really, really, really well. I really do. And I'm excited for this. And we'll see, though, how Bachelor in Paradise does. It's either gonna really hit and go super viral and everyone's gonna be watching it, or it's just gonna suck and it'll be a flop, because it really has to do well this time, otherwise it's not gonna stick. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, our next story is Lauren Graham is joining the adaptation of Colleen Hoover's Reminders of Him movie. This was such exciting news when I heard, not because I love Lauren Graham and Lorelai is one of my favorite characters on television ever, but also for what seems to be another move forward in a positive way towards these Colleen Hoover movies. Obviously, It Ends With Us was a fail, and a lot of people were really disappointed because they had such high hopes after reading the book, and it just didn't meet expectations at all, and just ended up being a ton of drama. But I think that from the looks of how Verity's going with Dakota and Anne Hathaway, I think that's going to be really good. And I think that Lauren Graham coming onto this, I have high hopes, and I'm excited for these new remake movies. I think it'll do really, really, really well. I do have a confession, though. I have not read Reminders of Him. So I don't know what it's about. Should I look what it's about? Verity was honestly my favorite book. I've said it before, that's the only book I recommend people read, but I don't remember what this, you know what? I might even have this book, but I don't think I ever read it. A young mother fights to earn a place in her child's life, but is there room for her? Interesting. Okay, well, maybe I'll read it before going to see the movie. Who knows? But very exciting news. Yeah, I think we can now forget about It Ends With Us and just move on to bigger and better things. All right, so now let's get into our deep dive. Last week we talked about the Karen Read trial. And honestly, you guys, so the Read trial began 5 days ago. And when I tell you I have been locked in as an unpaid jury member, I have been sitting my butt on the couch, logging into YouTube and watching the trial live. It's so interesting. I've never watched like a full trial like that. I don't know how these people don't fall asleep, because they will literally be in there for like up to 8 hours, but only have like 2 witnesses that they're questioning. And those poor witnesses, like and the poor judge, and especially people who have to go through this because it's a retrial. It's crazy how long and how slow it is, but I have been watching every day. I'm learning so much, and it's I think 6 to 8 week trial. They're off today because it's a Saturday, but yesterday they actually went and took a field trip to the house where John O'Keefe's body was found. So that was really interesting and cool to learn that like jurors can do that and like go see the place. I'm leaning more toward like she didn't hit him. I don't know. It's so crazy. You guys have to watch the documentary, and also just like it's definitely not to where it's beyond a reasonable doubt that she did it. Like there's a lot of doubts in this case. So the fact that there's even a retrial is kind of crazy, because even like the lead investigator, he has already been fired because of all this stuff. Like it's kind of crazy. But anyway, that's not our deep dive today. But our deep dive is something super sciencey. I don't know. I kind of found this interesting. Maybe you guys will too. But scientists claim they found a new color, but you have to have pulse lasers in your eyes. So a team of researchers say that there is a new color in the atmosphere, but you can only see it by being shot in the eye with a laser. Yeah, that's a no from me. So at Berkeley, these scientists have witnessed the new color, and they have called it OLO. OLO. It's a deep, rich blue-greenish hue that can be seen with the naked human eye. Now, when you think of a rich blue-green, what is that? That's like turquoise, okay? Like that's a color we already have. But they said it's a variation of blue-green, teal or peacock. All of those could be considered accurate depictions. But it's the most intense teal you can see in the world. It's that striking. Now, while I love that we're still discovering new colors, I think I'm good with the current colors that I can see with. So I'm going to keep that laser away from me and stick with the teal and turquoise that I know. And I'm going to be fine with that, because I don't really want a laser anywhere near my eye. Please, no laser. That's actually kind of crazy to think that. And how do people even like, whenever I see something about like a discovery, I don't understand like how people find this stuff and come up with it. It's kind of crazy to me. But anyway, that was our last little segment. I hope you guys are liking the segments. Let me know if you hate them or if there's like something else you want. But I've kind of been loving breaking the episode down a little bit more. This coffee, you guys. So you guys know, well, I don't know if you know, but like I am a Starbucks girl. Back in like 2014 when Starbucks had the like gold member card, like I had the gold member card. They don't do it anymore, but I have been obsessed with Dunkin'. The past week I've gotten it every single morning because of their blueberry unsweetened shot flavor. For some reason, blueberry in my coffee has changed the game, and I don't know what it is. So if you ever go to Dunkin', I would try so I get an iced coffee and I do the blueberry, and then either get the butter pecan or French vanilla. The butter pecan to me is like, it's kind of more like indulgent, like heavy, sweeter. So a lot of times I just do French vanilla with the blueberry, or get the Dunkin' latte and then I just add blueberry to that. But I don't think I can ever get my coffee without these blueberry shots. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it's so good. I've gotten it every day for the past week. I'm not even kidding. It's so amazing. But that is our show. Next episode, we're going to be in May. Oh my gosh. I love the month of May. I think it's such an exciting month, especially like when you were growing up, May was kind of the end of the school year and summertime. But now that I'm an adult, May is still pretty busy. It's just like a busy month. There's so much going on. graduations, birthdays, summer barbecues, just like a lot of fun stuff. So I'm excited for the next month. I think it'll be really exciting. And yeah, just thank you guys again for all the support, for all the love. Make sure you're following everything. All the links and everything are in my description boxes. And then really, if you follow the Instagram, that's where pretty much everything is. But yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And just thank you so much for tuning in here with me, whether it's every week, every month, just random times. But yeah, I will see you next week for another episode of Literally What, the podcast where pop culture, true crime, and internet chaos have you saying literally what? Bye, guys.